Lucas. I live in Troy, Ohio. Troy is near Dayton, and Dayton is the heroin capital of the country. And my favorite heroine is Wonder Woman. I did a show in Ohio, and it was for a bunch of bicycle riders. And one guy had a fancy bike. I said, wow, is that a Schwinn? He said, I'll have you know, it's a Peugeot. I said, don't get huffy. I work for a company that makes airplane parts. So all of our conference rooms are named for famous pilots. We even have one named for Amelia Earhart, but no one can find it. So I'm walking out of the grocery store, and this boy yells at me, hey mister, buy a raffle ticket for my soccer team. I said, but I don't want a soccer team. Yay! I met a guy from the Coast Guard, and he said the Coast Guard is trained. If they see somebody floating this way from Cuba, the Coast Guard yells out 3 words. Can you pitch? Yay! So how many of you like baseball? How many of you don't like baseball? How many of you didn't come here to answer questions? Yay! Speaking of shopping, I was shopping at a toy store, and I saw a board game called What Would Jesus Do? But I saw that it cost $29.99. So I wrote on the sign, Jesus would wait till it was on sale. Hey, Jesus wouldn't pay retail, Jesus saves. So I don't have any children. Yay! This lady at work had a child and said, we're naming our daughter Nevaeh. Nevaeh, I said, what's that? Nevaeh is heaven, spelled backwards. I said, aw, isn't that stupid? So there are signs in front of the schools where I live, and the signs say, well, signs don't talk, but the words on the sign in front of the school is drug-free, weapon-free area. And that's not right. When I went to school, we had to pay for drugs and weapons. Well, I didn't pay for drugs, because you know the expression, experimented with drugs? I was part of the control group. And I didn't pay for weapons because I went to a military school. I went to a Catholic military high school. First they taught us to kill, then they taught us to feel guilty about it. It was Our Lady of Guns N' Roses. So I was on the internet looking up #1 songs, because I wanted to know what was the #1 song 9 months before I was born. What were my parents listening to the night I was conceived? It was by Three Dog Night, Mama Told Me Not to Come. But I really don't like music. That's why I listen to country. Because you know when you play a country song backwards, you get your wife back, and your truck back, and your job back. But that's true about other kinds of music. Like, if you play an opera backwards, you wake up and realize you haven't wasted 4 hours. If you play jazz backwards, you get jazz. And if you play a rap song backwards, then you trust the police, you respect women, and you learn how to spell. A rapper who can't spell, that's ludicrous. Yay! So I watched way too much television. I realized this when I saw my neighbor walking her dog. I went running out of the house going, bad dog, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that poo? My favorite television show is Jeopardy, and I've been trying to get on Jeopardy for 28 years. I've passed the test every time, but never been called to be a contestant. So last year, after I passed the test, I even went to church and prayed. And still they didn't call. I asked the priest why. He said, was your prayer in the form of a question? So I had to use my GPS to get here. I love the way the city is laid out. And And I've got a special knob on my GPS so it can talk in different accents. So I turn my GPS to a southern accent, and now it stops at every Waffle House. The brand name of my GPS is Magellan, which means it would die in the Philippines. Too soon? Yes, I majored in history in college, and that was a mistake. It turns out there's no future in history. I should have majored in mathematics, and I could tell all my calculus jokes. But all my calculus jokes are derivative. Oh, I can't make them integral. Plus C. Yay! If I ever had a child, I'd want to name her Miranda. So if she talked back to me, I'd say, Miranda, you have the right to remain silent. Yes. But I have a friend who lives in Cleveland, and a few years ago there was a movie that came out called Draft Day, and it was about the Cleveland Browns making their draft choice. And my friend was an extra in this movie, and she said, I don't know why they want me in this movie. I don't know anything about football. I said, it's the Cleveland Browns. None of them knows anything about football. Yay! That was my pandering for the Pittsburgh crowd.